We have Joe Cheek. Questions for Joe Cheek.
How'd you feel the offensive line blocked this week compared to
We'll bring a mic around to you.
Sorry, try again.
That's fine.
How do you feel the line played this week compared to last week?
Much better. It's definitely something we worked hard on this past week, something we wanted to build on from last week to continue getting better, running the ball, being more physical team. I did feel like we did that today. We got better today.
Over here, left side.
Joseph, having said that, is there anything in particular you felt you guys can probably improve on for next time? Anything that really sticks out in your mind?
Really big thing moving on from here is just to continue to, big one for me, third and short, fourth and short, goal line, just getting that rocking down the first time, maybe not on the second or third time like we had a few times today, just to continue to, we get down in those short yards to get those yards and to complete those conversions.
All right, we're joined by quarterback Kyle Allen. Questions for either players, just let them know who you're addressing the question to. Daryl in the back. Kyle.
Hey, Joe, I know you don't like to see a guy fumble the football, but it's not bad if an offensive lineman recovers it for a touchdown, is it?
No, it's definitely something we dream of all the time. Happy for Coda. Couldn't have happened to a better dude. Guy's been working his tail off, running to the football, and sometimes you're rewarded for that. Sometimes you're not, but he was doing what he's supposed to do, and good for him. He got a touchdown.
Anything else for Joe? All right. Joe, you're good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right. Questions for Kyle. Staying in the back. Daryl.
Kyle, can you just kind of talk about the way your first quarter and a half went, how you felt like that you guys improved this week over what you did last week?
Yeah, going into the game, Coach Babb told me that he wanted to run the ones pretty deep until we got a pretty big lead, and so we can get some unity and get some chemistry together. And so I think that you saw we scored on every drive except for one where we 3-and-outed after a first play sack. So I think we rolled the way we should against a pretty good team at Ball State. We handled our business and we did well, and I'm happy with the performance of the offense today.
On the left side. Zach. Coming around.
Kyle, with being on the sideline for the entire second half and watching Kyler perform, I mean, what were your takeaways from that, and kind of what do you feel is your biggest job during that time whenever you're on the sideline? Is it to work with him or Spav or everyone?
Yeah, when Kyler went in, he did a really good job of extending plays and making things happen and also playing within the system. He had a couple of really good drives, and when the 1-0 line was in, he was moving the ball really well, which I was impressed with. And for me on the sideline, it's to give him as much guidance as I can. He's a really smart kid, and he gets it pretty quick. So I try to just stay out of his business and let him do him. But I tried to, like at halftime, I was giving him some pointers on what I was seeing in the game and what they were doing. So I just try to help as much as possible. But the kid's pretty smart.
Here in front, Mark.
I hate to ask a redundant question that you heard last week, but mind you give us your thoughts on Christian Kirk now after 2 games?
Yeah, I think you guys can see that we got a pretty special playmaker in Christian Kirk. And it's the second week in a row of taking a punt return for 50, 60-plus yards. And, he's just a spark plug. Whenever he's got the ball in his hand, something big could happen. I remember there was a 3rd down and 10 in the game where we had a screen pass called to the running back, and they were playing everyone they were playing all their DBs at the first down marker, and I saw room for Christian to run out there, and I just gave him a little bubble route to Christian and let him run, and that's the kind of confidence we have in him. That's what Spav said. If you ever think Christian can get some yards, I'm totally with you if you check any play to him. So we have a lot of confidence, and we know that he's going to be one of the biggest playmakers on our team.
Standing in the back, Daryl.
I know it wasn't difficult, but you guys, you got out to the big lead, and it was basically, how do we get better? You guys have to be your own worst critic to try to move forward. I mean, nothing against Ball State, but this was about you guys trying to make yourself better.
Yeah, and that's how we really attack every game. It's like Coach Holman says, it's about us, and we really focus on us before we focus on other teams. But like I said earlier today, I think our offense did a very good job of moving the ball in the first half with the ones, and there was a couple of times where we had some negative plays, which you don't like to see against any team really, but we can work on that stuff. I mean, we're going to go back in the tape and watch it, but like I said earlier, I think we had a pretty good game, but I mean, there's always room to get better.
Anything else for Kyle? Standing in the back.
I got one more thing for you about Bryce and the turf monster. How much grief is he going to catch about that? That should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, his roommates give him enough grief about anything he does, but right when he got off the sideline, we let him know. Well, he's a great kid, and you saw it after he scored. Even that touchdown last year against Lamar, how excited everyone on the team was, and then today when he scored that long touchdown, we don't really care if you're on scholarship or a walk-on this team. If you're going to contribute to the team and be a great guy, we're going to love you. And Bryce is one of the best kids on the team, and we love him to death. So we're really happy for him, but he should have had 2 today.
Anything else for Kyle? All right, we'll end it right here in front.
Can you talk a little bit about your last pass, the touchdown to Jeremy?
Yeah, we ran that same play earlier in the drive where I hit Ricky on a little back shoulder route to that. But we've been looking at that all week, and we've been saying that when we roll out that way, the post could be open, so just eye that. And I think that first play kind of set it up where the safety just flowed to Ricky and just set up, and Jeremy ran a great route and got open. And he's been open in the past 2 games a lot, and we haven't been able to see him or just missed him. So it was good to get him a touchdown because the way he's been working in the offseason and the way he performed in fall camp, he deserves a touchdown. So I'm happy for the kid.